We're back. Hi, Trev.
Right, Dave.
Lovely little filler to start the year, said the actress to the bishop. And how was your Christmas, mate?
Mate, it was good. It was busy, running around all over the place.
Running? You still doing those marathons?
Oh, yeah. Running around all over the place. Brother was kind enough with his family to put me up for a few days, so that was good. What about yourself? Did you go anywhere nice?
Funny you should ask.
I know what's coming here.
I heard it was pretty cold at Christmas around these parts.
Yeah, moving on. Where'd you go?
Portugal. Anyway, that's enough of me and my warm Christmas period. But more importantly, mate, let's just crack off this year. It's got a lot going on, as we spoke about yesterday in our little head-to-head, tete-a-tete.
Yep.
But let's just please remind, I know we get new listeners on a regular basis, as we know from the figures that are coming in. So, Trevor, in your own style, your own inevitable style, give us the reason why you and I are doing this podcast.
It's simple. It's something that you and I are aware of, and a good many of our colleagues, in fact, all of our colleagues. We've got to do something about reaching out to, business leaders in UK SME PLC. No one else is doing it. No one else is providing any guidance. No one else is ringing them up. No one else is talking to them, giving them that guidance when it comes to raising any form of finance. And it's important. The Business Finance Professional Guild is full of experienced boys and girls. They know what they're talking about. Some of them specialise, as we've heard on previous podcasts, in certain market areas. One thing that covers them all, though, mate, yourself included, they know what they're talking about. You know, they've got the finger on the pulse. And with respect, business owners, they don't think about finance all day long. They're too busy getting the kit out the door or sorting out, Johnny who's phoned in sick and he can't make the deliveries that day.
Bloody Johnny. He's always got sick.
Oh, I'll tell you what, pain in the neck. But no, it's straightforward. It's reaching out, your favourite word. It's providing a signpost to business owners to find the right business finance professional that is partisan, is independent, isn't carrying a lender's business card, can give true impartial guidance and help them through what is becoming an even more complicated world of business finance.
Couldn't agree more, mate, and love a bit of partisan on me spaghetti bolognese. But as I said a minute ago, I had a little head-to-head yesterday, didn't we? We kicked the world around and chatted an awful lot about what's going on in our industry. And, we still scratch our heads, don't we, Trevor, about how the hell is this current country, and I can only talk about this country or this nation, how's it going to move forward? We know that businesses continue to struggle, small businesses. As I said to you yesterday, I know a lot of business finance professionals have access to data, and that data feeds us information on what's going on with the businesses that we have worked with or we have spoken to in the past. And the red flags that I got in 2024, mate, regarding business failures was the highest I can remember. And that's not good. That's not good news. It's heartbreaking for many reasons, because these are businesses, in some cases, I worked with for a number of years.
Yeah.
When I came and switched back on everything after Christmas, again, I've already got 3. 2 have gone into liquidation, and another one has just landed itself another CCJ, which you can only imagine is got to do with trading conditions, economic climate. Maybe there is some cash flow, working capital problem, but and sadly, we don't hear about this in the news, do we, Trevor? We don't.
No,
we don't hear government, Rachel Reeves, whatever her name is, or anyone else coming on and saying we have a number of business failures going on here. We don't hear that. We don't see the statistics. I don't know why. Maybe it's just us, Trev, that are the only that's putting it out there, telling the world that we are in decline. And it's just not. I'm not, trying to give bad news for bad news' sake, but we have the data. We've got the data that's telling us this.
I mean, you talk about heartbreak. I mean, I think before heartbreak comes heartache. And that's the businesses they might look like a blooming swan or duck swimming across the lake at the moment, but you and I both know that they're paddling like Billy-O underneath to keep the whole ship going. And, there's plenty of businesses out there. Do you know, it's funny you should talk about that. I think we mentioned it yesterday. I wonder, hypothetically, we shouldn't have to say this, I wonder how many of those business failures, and let's be honest, most of them will be down to lack of cash flow. Yeah, it's not lack of turnover. It's lack of cash flow that kills most businesses.
I think it could be both, Trevor. I think some of the businesses I spoke to last year, they have had a drop in revenue for obvious reasons. A customer I spoke to just before Christmas lost £127,000 because one of his big customers unfortunately went down, and that will be a drop in revenue for him going forward. So I think there is a mix.
No, you're right, but at the end of the day, turnover doesn't pay the bills.
No.
It's the cash coming in that pays the bills, isn't it? That's what I meant. And, here's my hypothetical thought. I wonder how many of those businesses, if they were working with a business finance professional, would the outcome have been any different?
Well,
we'll never know.
I agree. I mean, we always talk about the prevention rather than the cure. And again, this is why the Guild was set up, wasn't it, Trevor? This is the reason, this is the cause, this is the reason why we set up the Guild, to try and put that prevention in, to try and stop that business getting itself in a situation where it needs cash. And it might need cash too late.
Yeah, we've said it before, haven't we? It's not the number one topic of conversation, I'm sure, at the Christmas parties this season. And a lot of, as we know, a lot of business owners don't like talking about it, and certainly not people they don't know. But ultimately, they've got to do something proactively. I'm mindful of the chap that you were speaking to the other day that, God bless him, I think he was a little grounds worker. And, it's sad, isn't it? If he'd come to you earlier in the process, you probably would have been able to help him. And that's a real shame. And timing's important.
It is.
Early engagements.
And for me, and I know I talk on behalf of all the Guild members, this is a problem that is getting worse rather than getting better. And, how do we cure it, Trevor? Well, we're doing our best with our little podcast here. Ideally, we want to be aligning ourselves with some of the bigger affiliations, the FLAs, the FSBs, all the trading bodies that represent small businesses out there. Surely they must be sat there. They don't do a podcast. We know that for a fact. But they must be sat there going, how can we provide a signpost, let's use that word because we love it, that will enable our members to gain access to finance, or at least gain access to somebody that can talk to them about finance.
Correct.
So they can make decisions. I keep using this, I'm going to use it again. Beggars belief that this is not going on.
You're right. Look, we've had two customers on so far, haven't we? 2 end users, both giving us great stories of how important it was to engage. The first one, bless her, Jo Hughes, she openly admitted if it wasn't for you, she would have struggled, the business may have failed. And then we had dear old Martin Lewis on to join us just before Christmas. I like Martin a lot, and old Hunky Dunky, our business professor, sorry, give me his proper name.
He's on tour now, mate. After our podcast, he's been signed up by an agency. He's off on tour with some Spandau Ballet tribute band.
Well, I phoned Duncan the other day, and he's still not called me back. I reckon he's gone with them, mate.
He's gone,
but
he's gone. Wish him all the luck, though.
Well, yeah. Well, there we go. But I'll tell you what, we've got another one lined up, have we not? With our next recording.
Well, look, we can go on for hours, and we haven't got hours because this is a little filler. But the feedback we've been getting in, as we keep saying to everyone, is gold dust. We don't do. I'm not trying to say. This is a labour of love. Is that the right word? This is something that we enjoy doing it, but ultimately we're doing it for one reason and one reason only.
Yes.
And that, apart from getting enough money to get Trevor a hair transplant, we are doing this for the purposes of trying to get business owners to focus in on what is going on out here in that big bad wide world financially, but also what we do as a guild.
Yeah, and you're right, Dave, and I think I've mentioned this on previous podcasts, not lay themselves open to the exploitation of Google or, speak, talk, pick up the phone, do something old-fashioned, but more importantly, engage with people that know what they're talking about. And
Well, look,
that's in a nutshell. Hey, listen.
what?
Mugs have arrived, mate.
Yes.
I'll get my mugs ready to get sent out to my lot.
Yeah. Now we don't have Vision yet because we can't afford it. Sponsorship. But we do have sat in here. I'm showing it to me good mate Trevor. A lovely mug.
Superb, mate.
On one side it says Business Finance Matters podcast.
Yeah.
On the other side it says the Guild of Business Finance with the logo. But you know what, Trev? Not everyone can have one.
No, I've drawn up a very, very long shortlist. If that makes sense. I've just about reached double figures. Obviously, all our marvellous guests that have been on. Watch out in the post, you lot. I've also listed some really strong supporters I know. Well, because we're grateful for their support and their following, and we know they do a lot of work. So. Look out for the postman over the next few days and weeks, folks.
Yeah, this is good. I mean, it's just a little something. And I think, Trevor, apart from those that have contributed to the pod, and there's, as you say, you've drawn up a list of those that have helped us, plus those that have been on the pod, guests, etc., plus those that have given us great feedback, your name is on that list. If you don't get a mug within the next, let's say, 10 working days, and you think you deserve a mug, just give us a little call. Give Trevor a call.
Yeah, give me a call. I'll be all ears.
Have a go.
I'll be all
have
ears.
a go at him. But
tell you what they could do though, Dave. They could put a bit of feedback on the website if they wanted.
So the feedback we have had has been excellent. Still waiting for someone to turn around and say, this is awful. I'm not saying it's awful, but giving us a little bit of perhaps guidance on what we maybe could be doing better. But so far, so good. So that's good news. Keep the feedback.
I think staying in audio is probably the biggest thing.
Yeah, I think so, mate. But keep the feedback coming in. I think for me, just before Christmas, our good friend, I know we keep mentioning him, so I won't mention him by name again because, like Hunky Dunky, he'll probably go off on a different career path thanks to us. But our good friend HSBC, he really did give me his, from the heart, from the head, the reasons why he likes the podcast. And I have to say, it made me feel like, well, we are doing whatever we're doing. It seems to be working. So, but that doesn't mean to say, if you think there's something else that we should be doing, any glitter we could add to it, or just let us know.
Hey, listen, do you know what I was thinking? I think we mentioned it yesterday. What's the worst Christmas present you've ever had?
Blimey, Trev. Well, I guess you can always think back on, certainly as a child, when you believed in Santa.
What? Why you say
nothing?
believe?
Nothing. For Santa, yeah.
Yes.
When you write your list out.
Yes.
And especially when I used to do it when I was younger, used to hand it in to whoever you used to hand it into, and then of course you saw the presents starting to build around that little pot plant in the corner there. And you opened them up, and of course, don't forget the list probably contained about 165 different items, and you only got 3 of them.
Yeah,
Hanky.
Did you have a big present? Was it lots of little presents and then the big present, or did you not work that way? Were they all just big presents in the Gross household?
My socks were big. I remember that.
Well, you got flippers, mate. That's why.
I can't remember, mate. Sorry. Too many years have passed. And talking of too many years, this year's a big 60, mate.
60 what?
March the 30th. I'm turning 60. I'll give out my bank details later for any contributions towards that big 60. So
don't worry, mate. I'll publish them on the website.
But listen, can't remember.
With your pin.
I'm grateful for any present I get these days.
Tell you what, though. What? Go on. We could ask our followers. Give us a hint.
All right. Here's a. Let's just come to us with Christmas present stories. Bad, good, funny, anything that you think will be worth talking about, and there'll be a mug that we'll send out.
Hold on.
Yeah, no, there'll be a mug.
Splashing them out already.
No, there'll be a mug. I'll send a mug out to anyone that sends us a decent Christmas present story.
Like, we're not the Radio 1 Roadshow down at Claxon-on-Sea with Tony
I
Blackburn.
don't care. That's
okay.
what I'll send them my own mug if you don't want to send out the mugs. The 155 that you've got sat behind you there.
No, I'll tell you what, I think that's a cracking idea, mate. Look, we've got a serious message we're always trying to get across here. If we get a bit of levity, if we can put a smile on a few people's faces, then come on, that's what it's about. But listen, we started getting a little bit, I thought we were going to get a bit morose. We got quite morose in the early part of this conversation about the state of things and all the rest of it.
Sorry.
But listen, look, I think this year's going to be very tough. I like you, Dave, I can see a few lenders. We've had a few lenders withdraw from the market. We had one the other day. We had a couple towards the end of last year. But we've seen it before. I think it's a natural realignment. I think what we'll also see new lenders coming into the market. We'll also see new appetite.
Listen, mate,
I already know one.
I'm amazed that there hasn't been a new lender in the marketplace already. In fact, I was talking to our good friend, Mr. Bassett, yesterday on this topic.
And all hail the chairperson.
I said to him, if I won the lottery again, I would reinvest my money into a lender. I don't know, let's start off with 10 million, and I would do all the things that I think lenders should be doing. And then hopefully every lender will look at what we're doing and follow.
Well, I'll tell you what I'll do. I did win the lottery on Christmas Day. £6. So,
like I said,
it's a start, mate, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is a start.
Yeah.
So, right. Okay. Exciting things ahead. I'm looking forward to recording our nice meat and potato session with our next customer.
Yes.
As we've said, I think we mentioned on our pre-Christmas session, there'll be a lot more customers we'll be speaking to this year.
Can I just add something there?
Oh, yeah.
So, yes.
Go.
The idea is this year, for this series, is to bring on more business owners for the obvious reasons.
Yeah.
We've got another business coming in from north of the border. From, what do you call it, God's own land or something like that?
God's own chosen country, my friend.
Cue the bagpipes. And so that's good news, but we need to have more, and we have got some guild members that are coming to us with potential guests. If anybody else out there has a business that they've worked with that they believe would be good to have on the pod, then please let us know. Can I also add something else? As you know, Trevor, I hate the word deal. Deal, I know it's talked about a lot on LinkedIn. I hate the word commission. I hate the word broker, but I think, just using the language so everyone can understand. But transaction of the month. If we could
I like that.
Yeah.
Dave, you're pushing an open door. I've campaigned to change this vernacular for months, if not years. The boys and girls in the guild, they don't earn a commission. It's their fee income. It's their gross fee income from which they have to deduct their running costs, their business costs, and what they've got left over, any profit, is what they live on. So that one grinds my gears a little bit.
Can we ask?
I like transaction.
Ask the listeners if you do something. I know a lot of them go up on LinkedIn. We'll keep our eyes open for those. But if you've got something, in fact, I've got one myself, but I don't want to keep going on about me all the time.
No,
I go on about me all the time, and I bought myself. But the point I'm trying to make here is I have got one going on at the moment. It's this great story behind it. It hasn't closed yet, but if someone has got something going on this month that you think is worth just sending us in a message or giving us a call, we don't have to name names. If you want to disclose the name of the customer, then guess what, Trev? I'll give the
it's mug
I'll
time.
give him another mug. I'm going to give him a mug.
You'll be giving them mugs, mate.
But no, if you don't want to disclose the customer's name, that's absolutely fine. But if we can use it as an example of something that you've been involved with during the month that is a good news story, which of course all transactions are good news stories. But if we can share those, we'll be extremely grateful.
And I'll tell you what, they ain't get a mug if they call it a deal. No. In actual fact, I think we'll cut them off. We never want to hear from them again. No, it's a transaction. It's a financial, fiscal transaction. And as you say, little bit of background, little bit of why it was important.
Good. Okay, so that's a little competition, for want of a better word. Just come up with that, made that up. Oh, talk about presents. Can I just say, I know he's a friend of the show, but can I just say a big thanks to our, again, north of the border, bagpipes. I got a present from Gordon Larson.
Superb. What a boy.
He sent me this book called The Almost Nearly Perfect People. And it doesn't apply to you or I, but it does apply to the people that live in the Nordic countries. In Scandinavia.
I get you.
You could probably guess with a surname like Larsen, there are some Viking roots. And my wife, bless her, and she just flown out today, spends a lot of time out in Denmark. And can I just say, Gordon, I am a quarter of the way through the book. I wish I'd had more time to read it, but thank you very much. I really much appreciate it. And if anybody else wants to send me presents, my home address is...
Yeah, okay. Right, I tell you what, very quickly, you just reminded me, my best friend on the whole planet for Christmas...
Yes, thank you very much.
My best friend, Dave, she bought me a DNA testing kit. Not for that reason. Which I have literally just done today and sent off to start building the Piri family tree.
Really?
But hold on a minute, mate. You talk about Scandinavia. I'm not sure. I mean, you know my background, but...
I do. And we can't repeat it on this pod.
A generation or two away, goodness only knows. I'm not sure if I want to know the results if I'm frank.
You know I'm from Germanic and Scandinavia, so hence the book which I'm reading.
There was something.
What else? I'm conscious of the time here. Talk about yesterday. You remember when just as we left, and I was passing you over the mugs in the car, and you said, Dave, why does your car smell of cheese?
But it did, though. It smelled of the right camembert.
Do you know what? I got in the car, drove away from your boudoir on the marina there. And I was thinking to myself, it does smell of cheese. What I'd forgotten is that in the boot of my car is my son, because my son's in Canada. Canada Post decided to go on strike. So I had this lovely box of gifts for him, which we couldn't send out before Christmas because of the postal strike. In that box was a large container full of camembert cheese.
I was going to say stinking bishop or something.
Stinking in the boot. So I've removed that cheese, replaced it with a new...
Did you have to pick it up, or did it walk out on itself?
I just opened it up and it flowed like a river.
I knew. Do you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of dear old Bob Mortimer on Gone Fishing, where he has his pocket meat and his snacks in the boot of his car. I thought, Dave, you're doing the same, mate. It did stink of cheese.
I know, it got me going. Cheese. And then one final thing I just want to add. Again, I keep seeing this on LinkedIn, and I keep seeing it and hearing it. But look, the Guild is here for many, many reasons, and what I tend to see quite a bit of at the moment, because I'm trawling LinkedIn a bit more these days, and there's various reasons for that, which, again, I haven't got time to go through right now. But
are they legal?
No comment.
Okay.
But our industry is littered with those that work on their own. I myself used to work in an office environment with staff, and that all changed. I know a lot of our colleagues are doing the same these days, working remotely, and the Guild again is here to share ideas. It's here to share best practice. It's here to support. Again, if there's anything that you want to talk about or share, or just pick up the phone or send us a message, the door is massively open to make sure that nobody should be sat at home putting anything up on LinkedIn saying, I'm lonely, let's talk. The door is already open, so let's get this moving forward. It does happen to a certain extent already, I accept that, but
as you know, mate, I coordinate all the monthly digital meetings of the members of the Guild. We've got our first of the year tomorrow, and it's looking like a near capacity attendance.
Good.
And I think that is primarily for the reasons you just said. We're not a social group. It's not for that reason, but what a tremendous secondary aim that we've got there. I remember vividly going back 2 years when you, me, and a couple of old muckers got together and thought about this whole concept, this whole idea. One of the things was they all said that just if we can relieve that feeling of being on your own, being lonely, being, not knowing what to do from one day's end to the next, we were achieving that for a good number of our members, mate.
I've seen it quite a bit on LinkedIn recently. Don't put it up on LinkedIn. There's no need. Just
No.
pick up the phone, have a chat. If you can't bear chatting to Trevor or myself, we have a long list of others that will be keen to share anything that you want to talk about.
Well, they can find them on the guild, bfpguild.org. Very simple.
Good.
B, business, F, finance, P, professionals, bfpguild.org.
Good.
Follow.
And how can the people get hold of us at the pod?
Pigeon. Whatever. We're all over the social media. Just search Business Finance Matters. We've got our own website. And if you want to get in touch with us directly, it's bfm.buzzsprout, all one word, .com. And you'll be straight through and you can lavish in our 12 episodes previous, this being our Baker's Dozen today.
Yeah, if you've got absolutely nothing else to do in life, go to Spotify or any of the other platforms and search for Business Finance Matters. Good,
right, Dave. It's going to be a good year.
Beautiful.
I'm looking forward to, as I say, our next guest. We'll get him in the bag and in the can very, very quickly. And we'll get that released.
Yeah, recording
very
that
soon.
Hopefully next week, and we'll get it out before the end of the month.
Superb.
Otherwise, great. Good to see your face again, as always. And we'll be in touch soon. And thank you for listening.
And you, brother. And as I say, everybody watch out for the postman in the next few days and weeks. You never know what's coming your way.
And also, Trevor, is it too late to say Happy New Year? Sorry. Happy New Year, everyone. Have a great 2025. And we'll catch you on the next episode. Bye from him.
And it's bye from me.